should have been here last night. Familiar faces, Red Sox, Marlins, suited up, ready to roll. Josh Johnson looked plenty nasty. He was back to his old form. And the Fish found their stroke. Big hits and an early 4-0 lead. To finish it off, Heath Bell slammed the door on a 4-1 win. Tonight, Red Sox Marlins again.
It's another beautiful night in downtown Miami, and Marlins Park will be jumping again tonight. The Red Sox and Marlins getting ready for Game 2 of a 3-game series. And yes, the roof, she is wide open tonight. Red Sox fans, Marlins fans, it was a great atmosphere and a great night for the Fish last night as Josh Johnson in the middle of the order and everything came together. Heath Bell closed it. Mark Burley, Clay Buchholz going at it in this one. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton. Welcome to Miami. Last night, roof was open. The place was full. Great atmosphere. And for the Marlins, a much-needed win.
You know what? I expect the same tonight. It's another Chamber of Commerce day here in Miami. The Red Sox are in town. Another pretty good matchup. I look for the same.
The Marlins set the tone both with Josh Johnson in the top of the first and the middle of the order in the bottom of the first.
You know, it's one of those things the ball club's been looking for. Ozzy's been looking for production, and he really doesn't care where it comes from. But the last couple of games, you think about the middle of the order, starting with Giancarlo. Giancarlo right now is 4 for his last 12, working on a 3-game hitting streak. Logan Morrison on a nice tear. His last 2 games, Lomo is 4 for 7. And since the recall of Gabby Sanchez, he's fit nicely in that number 6 hole. He's had a 2-game hitting streak, a hit in each game, and he's driven in a couple of runs, most importantly.
And most importantly, the Marlins got the win. You see Stanton, Morrison, and Sanchez. The Marlins are hopeful that the middle of the order will have some success against Clay Buchholz. And, of course, it's Tuesday night, which means it's your chance to get involved with the telecast. It's an email Twitter Tuesday as the Marlins and Red Sox get ready to go. So we'll tell you how to get to us on Twitter. We'll tell you how to get to us on email. All you got to do is hang around with us. There you go. Go to the Marlins. I can't even read that while I'm looking there, so you read it for me, Tommy. Get the glasses on. Text. Way to
tweeting.
Go. All right. Stick around. We got Marlins and we got Red Sox coming up from Miami.
another great night to be at Marlins Park. Just ask Craig Minervini and Jeff Conine.
All right, thank you very much, Rich, and good evening again, everybody. Good matchup here for the ball game tonight. The righty Clay Buchholz will go against lefty Mark Buehrle. Buchholz has had kind of a topsy-turvy type season, but unfortunately for the Marlins, and if you're a Marlins fan, of late he's been very hot, and he'll try to carry that into this game.
Yeah, it's been a tale of 2 months for him. The first month of the season, he was awful with a ERA hovering around 9. His last 6 starts, though, he's been outstanding. A 3.1 ERA, and had been holding since that time in mid-May. Has been holding the right-handed hitters in baseball to a 143 average, which is tops in the American League.
Wow, 3-1 over that time you're talking about, last 6 starts. There's Mark Buehrle making his way in. Buehrle been a fun guy to watch. 13 starts. You know about his quickness to the plate, efficiency, and all the little things that he does so well. But one of those things you may not know, his interleague record is outstanding. 24 wins.
24 wins, leads all of Major League Baseball in interleague wins. So look for Mark Buehrle to have a quick game tonight and keep the fish into the game.
15 last starts in interleague play. Buehrle is 10-0 with an ERA under 2. A live chat with Hanley, and the first pitch is coming up when we return to Marlins baseball.
Marlins, before we get going, let's go down to Allison Williams with Hanley Ramirez.
Thank you very much, guys. Hanley, a much-needed victory for the team yesterday. How important is it for this group to take advantage of the opportunities you have offensively?
I mean, we've been a little bit struggling, you know, lost a couple games, but at the same time, we started to come out here and play hard, you know, and continue to compete every day.
Team you came up with, is the Boston Red Sox still a special feeling facing them?
I mean, you know, this is a base name. Now, you know, I'm facing them, so we're only trying to win the game every day.
Thank you, Hanley.
Yeah.
Mark Buehrle in start number 13, 5-6, but since the start of May, he's 4-2 with an ERA right where he is at about 3.5. And his career numbers against the Red Sox, not the best. 6-6 with a 4.49 ERA. Pinch a Penny brings you the first pitch. Scott Posednik, who had 3 hits last night, takes the strike. And a lot of these Red Sox have a lot of at-bats against Buehrle. Posednik was a teammate of Buehrle's in Chicago and, of course, on that World Series team. A liner to right, Stanton in, dives and has it. Giancarlo Stanton takes away a hit from Scott Posednik.
Boy, Podsednik continues to hit the ball hard. He had 3 hits last night. Sinking line drive, though, picked by Giancarlo in right field. Not the greatest of landings, but a great pick by Stanton in right. Good job.
Now Pedroia. And he takes a strike. Pedroia 1 for 3. He's hitting 4 straight. Six for 16 in his career against Burley.
Yeah, you're right, Rich, about Mark Burley. 16 career starts against the Red Sox to put together that 6-6 record.
And much has been made of his interleague record. Here's the 0-2, which means absolutely nothing. Because, obviously, pitching for the White Sox, he was getting all those wins against the National League. And tonight, he's pitching against the American League. Here's the 1-2. It floats outside. But it's amazing that teams that had not seen him much, the National League when he was an American leaguer, had very little success. He was 24-6. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out Pedroia on a good, sharp breaking ball. The Red Sox have dropped 7 of their last 8, including 4 in a row. They are 3 under. SunTrust brings you their lineup. You've seen Podsednik and Pedroia. Kevin Youkilis at first. Will Middlebrooks, exciting young player in the cleanup spot, plays third. Adrian Gonzalez is back in right field. Kelly Shopik behind the plate. Micah Vilas is at shortstop as Youkilis takes high. Darnell McDonald in left field, and Clay Buchholz hits 9th. And here's Youkilis. Last night, Youkilis was in the 6th spot in the order, and he was 0 for 4. Limited to just 36 games this year with lower back issues. Stay on the disabled list. Burley gets a strike. Bobby Valentine, who was tossed 2 games ago from a ball game against the Nationals. Ground ball. Diving stop. Hanley on a knee. Got him! Hanley Ramirez robbing Kevin Youkilis. And a nice start for the Fish. A 1-2-3 with a little help from Hanley. Fox Sports Florida brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today for great deals on an amazing lineup of Toyota vehicles. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Papa John's. Right now at Papa John's, get any large pizza, even specialties, for only $12. Does it get much nicer than this? Beautiful shot outside of Marlins Park, and now inside Marlins Park. The roof is wide open. The Marlins coming to bat here in the bottom of the first. After a 1-2-3, top of the first, Clay Buchholz getting ready to go. Another comfortable night with a gentle breeze. The difference tonight, as you see Clay Buchholz on the mound. The rolling windows out in left field are open. Last night, the windows shut, windows open.
Well, we'll see if that has any effect on the baseball tonight.
Well, last night, Jose Reyes got things started. Takes a fastball for a strike. Got things started with a triple.
With Clay Buchholz coming off a complete game shutout, 7-0 win against the Baltimore Orioles, his last time out.
Among active players, Reyes is tied for second, leading off a game with a triple. Ichiro with 15, Reyes and Juan Pierre with 14. Here's the 1-1. Cracks that one down the line. Maybe he's done it again. Into the corner goes Gonzalez. Off to the races goes Reyes. On his way to third. He is now tied with Ichiro. 15 times he has led off a game with a triple. Tied for the most among active players.
Let's make a quick update of that number. Boy, a great way to start. That's the way he started things last night. Last night, it was into right center. This time, he shoots one past Youkilis at first base, and it gets into that corner. That's a long way for Gonzalez to travel to get it. Reyes, a quick peek over his shoulder. Now he puts his head down. He doesn't even have to look for Joe Espada. He knows he's got 3.
A long way to travel for a right fielder who's a first baseman. And remember, twice in the first inning, the ball found Gonzalez in key moments last night, and it already has found him once tonight. Now Infante is trying to get this run home, and he dribbles it foul. The guy that occupied the 2 spot last night, who gave Infante a night off, was Donovan Solano, and he was terrific in that spot. A sacrifice fly drove Reyes in the first, and he had a 2-out single against Beckett for the 4th and final run for the Fish in the second inning. Middle infield back, corners are in. And Buchholz spins one up there for a strike. It's 0-2.
Boy, for Reyes, Rich, 13 doubles, 5 triples now on the season. And it's been a while. This is an opportunity for Omar Infante to do something he hasn't done since May 18th. And that's drive in a run. That was his last RBI.
Now there's the active leaders for triples. Reyes at 104.
And right now, Crawford not active.
That's a good point. Here's the 0-2. And Infante fouls it back. How about this number for Reyes? His 104 triples is the most for any major league player through the date of his 29th birthday. He turned 29 yesterday. Since Stan Musial in 1949, when Musial had 103 triples up till his 29th birthday. So Reyes technically 103 up to yesterday on his 29th birthday. Infante swings and misses, and Buchholz gets a big strikeout. Marlins lineup brought to you by SunTrust. Reyes has tripled, Infante has struck out. Hanley now with 1 out will try to drive in a run. Giancarlo Stanton hits cleanup. Logan Morrison's bat has been popping the last couple of ball games. So has Gabby Sanchez. Chris Coughlin's in center. John Buck will do the catching. And Mark Burley hits 9th.
Well, it's a big pitch by Buchholz. Real nice breaking ball to expand the strike zone and get Infante to chase that pitch out of the zone.
And now this at bat for Hanley now takes on a little more importance with 1 out. Buchholz from the stretch. Infield up the middle is back. Corners are in. And Hanley finds himself in a slide right now. His average has dipped to 254. He has delivered in this spot. Major League average is just over 50%.
Sometimes this spot will help you out, but Hanley 1 for his last 25.
0 for 4 last night. Reyes at third. Buchholz. That's right on the corner.
So far, Buchholz has shown a terrific fastball spotting it. He's not an overpowering guy, but he's really been on the corners. He's thrown some nice breaking balls. And I'm not so sure he's broken out
the pitch that's really helped him lately, the changeup.
He's not a big strikeout guy, but we did punch out Infante. 46 strikeouts in 12 starts coming into this one. 0-2. And he strikes out Hanley. Boy, big strikeouts for Buchholz, and not the best of at-bats for Infante and Hanley Ramirez.
Cleveland Clinic will bring you the defense tonight for the Red Sox. Darnell McDonald, Podsednik, and Gonzalez in the outfield. Middlebrook starting tonight at third. Micah Vilas. Dustin Pedroia. Euclid moves over to first, and Kelly Shopping, a veteran backup catcher behind the plate.
Where's Donovan Solano when you need him? And here's Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton 1 for 4 last night. A broken bat single into center. He scored on the Morrison double. Buchholz attacking the plate at 93 miles an hour. It's 0-1. Infante struck out. Reyes dancing off third. Buchholz takes a peek. And Stanton watches that one sail outside.
You know, we talked about Buchholz, that last outing, the shutout against the Orioles. He has 3 career shutouts, and they've all been against Baltimore.
And one of those was a no-hitter back in 2007. That's something these two starters share, is they both threw no-hitters in 07. Buchholz getting Baltimore, Burley getting Texas that year.
And Buchholz making his first ever appearance against the Marlins. Not much history.
Injury-filled year last year. Here's his 2-1. That's out. And he's gone 3-1 to Stanton.
Let's see if he gets fastball, or if 3-1 he sees the changeup or the breaking ball.
Buchholz ready. Reyes is still at third. Now there are 2 outs.
Got the big breaking ball. You knew he wasn't going to get a 3-1 fastball.
Let's see what he gets. 3-2. Reyes opened with a triple, but Buchholz has struck out Infante and Ramirez. Check swing. He went around, according to DJ Rayburn, the home plate umpire. Clay Buchholz gives up a leadoff triple and then punches out 3. And this game, scoreless.
H. Gregg. Mark Burley back to work quickly. And it's our first look in the Coventry second inning at Will Middlebrooks. Adrian Gonzalez, Kelly Shoppett coming up as well. Middlebrooks pops it up. Reyes on the outfield grass makes the catch. Burley working quickly, has retired all 4 that he has faced after the Marlins had a great opportunity to give him a 1-run lead and failed to do it.
Now, we saw the situation last night, leadoff triple, and the Marlins took advantage of it. So a little momentum shift with Buchholz and the Red Sox getting out of that jam in the first inning.
Now Adrian Gonzalez, who is back in right field. And tonight it's not to allow Big Papi to play. Big Papi's not playing, but to have both Youkilis and Middlebrooks in the lineup.
That was one of the reasons he initially went out there. Middlebrooks came up, caught fire, and has really been swinging a hot bat for the Red Sox.
Shoots a ground ball Reyes' way. Fires it across. Cleveland Clinic brings you the Marlins defense.
So to get those guys in, Bobby Valentine moves them around. We'll check out the Marlins defensively. Morrison, Coughlin, and Stanton in the outfield. Infield setting up as we've seen it many times. Infante back in there. And John Buck behind the plate.
First pitch to Kelly Shoppett is down low. Now Kelly Shoppett has been around a bit, but found himself behind the plate for some enormous games last year for the Tampa Bay Rays, and played well down the stretch and helped the Rays catch the Red Sox and get that wild card spot. Shoppett started 6 of the last 9 regular season games for the Rays and hit 3 home runs. And in the postseason, in game 1 of the division series against Texas, he pumped a couple of homers out and had 5 RBIs for a catcher that's kind of lived somewhat in the shadows in the big leagues.
Well, that's
big stuff.
He's been a guy that fits that backup catcher role. There have been a few years, a couple of years last year, 2010, he hit below 200. But he'll give you an occasional long ball. He started 21 times so far for the Red Sox, and Boston's 12-9 in those starts.
Burley's 1-2 sails outside. Jared Saltalamacchia, the Palm Beach product, was behind the plate and has kind of been one of the Red Sox big power sources this year. He has 11 homers. Not in the lineup tonight. Shoppett steps back in, the 32-year-old out of Fort Worth, Texas. And Burley misses down low. It's 3-2. There's Saltalamacchia. He's had some big home runs this year.
Yeah, most of those as a left-handed batter. He's a switch hitter. Just 26 ABs against lefties this year.
Three-two coming. Burley with an 87-mile-an-hour fastball. The count 3-2. It's hard to get emails and tweets open. There's Big Papi. He'll answer your questions as well. Just at FS Marlins, hashtag Twitter Tuesday. But we promise as soon as Burley is done with this hitter, we'll jump right in.
Maybe, unless he gets him out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he gets him out, we're going to start when we get back. There's a liner down the right field line, and that's a fair ball into the corner. Shoppett with his 7th double of the season. Stanton retrieves it, and here comes Mike Aviles, and here comes our first email and tweet. It's from Kelly Shoppett. What do you think of my swing, and was it fair or foul?
Well, first base umpire Jim Wolf right there with the call. It was fair, and it was a pretty good swing because the pitch wasn't a bad one at all.
William wants to know, he tweets this, why is the roof open tonight? I thought no more games were going to be played with the roof open.
You want to take that one?
William, just peek outside. I'm not sure where you are, but it's an absolutely gorgeous night. Yes, if it were hot and humid and if there were a lot of rain showers in the area, the roof would be closed. But tonight, picture perfect.
And here's a couple things we've learned about having the roof open at this time of night. Number one, there's no direct sunlight on any of the seats from about, what would you say, 6:15 on. So as fans come into the ballpark, they're not sitting in the sun.
I'll tell you another thing I learned tonight, Rich. When the roof is open, the gigantic AC units up in the top level, they're not on. But the AC units in the promenade area and all that area, they are, to keep everybody cool walking around in those areas.
Burley catches a corner with the breaking ball. The other thing the Marlins did last night is they decided to open the roof after batting practice, and the place had already been cooled down for the fans. But there's a little gentle breeze, and that helps. And I know the Marlins talked about the decision to open or close the roof will be based on fan comfort. If they feel that fans will be comfortable on a night like this. Last week, as humid and as hot as it was, I'm not sure they would have opened it because there was no wind, there was no breeze, and a lot of humidity.
And a lot of rain. There was a lot of rain in the area, too. And then tonight, the difference is that the rolling windows out there in left center, they're open. Last night, those were not.
Two. Tapper, busy inning for Reyes, and he throws him out. Headed to the bottom of the second of a scoreless ball game.
Presentado en SAP por Coventry Healthcare of Florida.
Mark Burley, 2 uneventful innings. Bottom of the second, Logan Morrison, Gabby Sanchez, Chris Coughlin will face Clay Buchholz.
Let's take a look at the scouting report brought to you by Coventry Healthcare on the 27-year-old right-hander. Very sound delivery, and I think you see that as he makes his pitches. He got an assist from Beckett on the changeup. A little change in his grip, more of a split grip that helped his changeup, and he'll pitch in the low 90s. As we continue, before you get into another email, our crack staff, we've had some crack staffers who've attended many games at Fenway Park. And your comment about the seats here as the game began, none in the sunshine. If you go to a game at Fenway Park in right field, the first inning and a half, you might not be able to see much because you're staring right into the sun.
Here's the 0-1.
But that's part of the charm, I guess.
Yeah, well, every ballpark has its nuances.
Sure.
When the Marlins were in Cleveland, I had all but forgotten, because I had not called the game in Cleveland in about 8-9 years, that the sun was a real problem for the first baseman when he's watching the pitcher work in the first inning or two. Morrison takes an off-speed pitch for a strike, and it's 1-2. Lomo got himself into good hitters counts last night, banging one off the top of the wall in right field against Josh Beckett. And it golfs that one off his shoe tops. Not to Middlebrooks at third base. This copyright telecast presented by the authority of the Miami Marlins may not be reproduced, retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. Alex from Lewisburg. As Gabby Sanchez steps in. Alex has an email question about Scott Pasednik device that he had over his hand to protect his hand. Wanted to know, doesn't it extend his reach and thus give him an unfair advantage?
Very good observation.
Strike to Gabby, that's 1-1.
But in your conversation with Pasednik, he told you about how he came up with the idea. I don't think that was his intent.
Yeah, he had broken fingers on 3 different occasions, jammed thumbs with head-first slides. A great base stealer, and still is a very good base stealer. Though, I mean, he was prolific. He had a 70 stolen base season as a Milwaukee Brewer in 2004. He essentially got a batting glove, wrapped tape around it, and made it into something that almost looks like an oven mitt with a batting glove on the bottom of it. Here are his career numbers.
Kind of like a pothole.
Yeah. 1-2 coming. There's the breaking ball, and Sanchez swings and misses. 4 strikeouts already for Buchholz, and if you've just joined us, he gave up another leadoff triple to Jose Reyes, who led off last night with a triple. But tonight he didn't score because Buchholz struck out Infante, struck out Hanley Ramirez, and struck out Giancarlo Stanton.
So many times we talk about a moment in a ball game, how it can take you on to scoring a few runs, as it did last night. With the leadoff triple, the Marlins end up scoring 3 runs in the first inning.
Chris Coughlin goes after the first pitch and shoots it out into left field. That's Darnell McDonald out there tonight, and he makes the catch.
Beautiful night here in South Florida. So once again, back-to-back nights. The roof remains open. This time the window panels are open as well. The Marlins are now 3-2 with the roof open, even 500 with it closed. We asked some fans, since it is Twitter Tuesday, what they think about having the roof open or closed. Trivia Chase says roof should be open every night if it's not raining. This is South Florida. Joe says, I think the roof needs to be open more. Period. Baseball is meant for beautiful weather, and Tony says keep it open. Fish need to heat up anyways. JR doesn't matter to him as long as whatever helps Big Papi from Going Yard, who is not in the lineup though. Good news for the Fish tonight. So we want to hear from everyone. Text us your answers as to whether or not you think the Marlins roof should be open more, less, or perhaps as it is. It is the subject of our Marlins our Marlins text poll tonight. You can text our answers to 789-789. And the poll is A, always open if it's not raining. B, open at least once per home series. C, always closed if it's hot and humid. And D, I don't care, I'll be there no matter what. So let us know what you think on Twitter and also via our poll, 789-789. Rich, Tommy?
Thank you, Allison. Darnell McDonald's flies out to Giancarlo Stanton. And here is Buchholz. Burley throws a strike. Buchholz, his only professional plate appearance back in 2010, and of course he singled in 2010. He was an all-star in 2010, and he was 6th in the Cy Young voting. Just a 27-year-old. We talked about his big splash when he got to the big leagues, the no-hitter in 2007.
Well, he won 17 games that year.
Burley trying to finish him off quickly. Just missed on that fastball. 2-2 pitch coming. Got him. And so 2 outs. Here comes the top of the order, Scotty Pope. If you want to experience Marlins baseball in luxury, give your group the true VIP treatment. The new Fiesta Suites at Marlins Park are right up your alley. Fiesta Suites offer the suite experience on a single game basis. Feature an all-inclusive menu, premium seats, flat-screen TVs, air-conditioned comfort, and more. 1-877-MARLINS or go to marlins.com. Posednik hit a sinking liner to right. An at-bat much like all of his at-bats last night when he was 3 for 4 with a stolen base. Stanton made a sliding catch.
I love the way Kevin Youkilis gets ready. I mean, he's not even up after Posednik. Pedroia's on deck. But Youkilis on the top step, working on the swing, getting himself ready for his at-bat.
He is as intense a competitor as you'll find. And some have written and suggested that the Red Sox actually entertained trading him. Little tapper, Posednik runs well. Hanley quickly to first in time. 1-2-3 inning for Burley. Now we'll get back to those emails in the bottom of the 3rd. found. And look, of course, he's there to watch the energy team. Lil Jose had a birthday yesterday. So did Big Jose. And a little later on in the show, we're going to show you Lil Jose and how he celebrated his birthday. He celebrated his birthday in the Clevelander. So you want to stick around for that. One of our tweets, and we've had a few of these already tonight. What does Big Jose, Jose Reyes, think about Lil Jose? And, you know, he's kind of the alter ego.
I think they're starting to bond a little bit. Had a nice tweet from Stephanie. Stephanie wanted to know if we were surprised by the turnout of Red Sox fans. No. They travel well. They turn out everywhere. Red Sox Nation follows their ball club. So, no, not a surprise at all. Happy that they're here.
John Buck with Burley and then Jose Reyes. Buck 1 for 2 last night, showing a little bit of progress at the plate. He's had a few more walks, a few more hard hit balls, and some base hits over the last week. Buchholz misses high. Marlins, with their win last night, brought themselves into a tie for third in the East. The Nationals just keep on winning. They've won 4 in a row. Atlanta's 3 back. Miami and New York are 5 back, and the Phillies are 8.5 back. While Boston is 6.5 back behind the Rays and the Yankees. Buck turns on one, pulls it foul.
And the Nats with an early 1-0 lead against Toronto.
Ozzie Guillen and the Marlins in the middle of their American League East stretch. Swept by the Rays. 3 here against Boston, a win last night. And then on to St. Pete, 3 more with the Rays. And then on to Boston, 3 more with the Red Sox before the Blue Jays come to town.
Good news for Ozzie. One of the games against the Rays where the DH will be used, of course, Carlos Zambrano's pitching. So he wants Zambrano to back off his batting practice to make sure that back feels good so he won't have to hit in St. Pete.
Buck fouls it back. Yeah, Zambrano had the stiff back his last start and got lit up.
I don't think it's so much the swings. It's the way he takes his swings in BP. He takes some aggressive cuts.
Buck out in front, fouls it back to the screen. We've had a lot of all-star questions, Marlin all-star questions. Of course, John Buck, an all-star a couple seasons ago with Toronto in 2010. Giancarlo Stanton, the latest voting came out today, and Giancarlo Stanton is not even in the top 15 among.
Wow, that's 2 weeks in a row. You got to be kidding.
National League outfielders.
You got to be kidding me.
No, I'm not, and I know that pushes your buttons, which some fans actually.
I mean, you voted. I've voted. It's easy. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Some fans actually enjoy it when your buttons are pushed, but I think they would also enjoy watching Giancarlo Stanton in the All-Star game. Now, that's why they have the players vote. That's why the league and the manager, Tony La Russa for the National League, can also add players. Matt Kemp, Carlos Beltran.
Matt Kemp's on the disabled list, for crying out loud.
There's a roller out to short. Aviles flips it over to first in time. Let's check in with Craig Minervini.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Game in a National League park. You wonder what kind of advantage the National League team may have with its pitcher batting. A little more comfortable at the plate than, of course, the American League pitchers. And statistically over the years, the NL has had an advantage of almost 30 points better than the pitcher. But in the Marlins case, it's kind of strange here. Marlin pitchers have hit 33 points less than the American League pitchers and less at bats. You do see some key numbers there, though. The RBI is a little higher, and sacrifice bunts, handling bunting is a big edge for the National League. In fact, they have more than 70 sack bunts when you compare to all the teams. But I was surprised when you saw that number, that Marlin pitchers are hitting just 107 in interleague games compared to their counterparts against the Fish at 140. Guys?
Thank you, Craig. Mark Burley, a robust 067. Obviously, he's never hit against Boston. That one almost hit him. And it bounces off of the shin guard of DJ Rayburn, the home plate umpire. Jim Wolf's at first. He'll get home plate tomorrow night. Darrell Cousins at second. Ron Kulpa is at third. All four umpires heard a bit of an ear-ringing tirade from Bobby Valentine as they walked off the field after last night's ball game. The umpire's walkway runs right up next to the Red Sox dugout, and Valentine was there to let him know what he thought of him. Burley with a fly ball to right. Adrian Gonzalez comes in, and he makes the catch. Well, if you're looking for first-class hospitality for your clients or hoping to catch a ball on the home run porch, experience Marlins baseball through a variety of affordable group packages. Marlins Park features air-conditioned comfort, great food options, and premium group entertainment. 1-877-MARLINS, the number to call. Here is Reyes. To be truthful, to answer the tweet we had a few minutes ago, Jose Reyes likes the idea of the alter ego, Lil Jose. They're good buddies. And Big Jose is 2 for 2, a triple and a single. And he has the only 2 hits against Clay Buchholz tonight. All right, Tommy, do you want your blood pressure up or down? I can go through the outfielders that are in front.
No, I'm fine. I mean, the blood pressure will stay stable, but go ahead and give me some names.
Shane Victorino won't bother you?
Nah, that bothers me. He's not having a typical Shane Victorino year.
Angel Pagan?
No, forget about it. Angel Pagan.
Martin Prado?
He plays third base sometimes with Chipper out.
This is not a game we should play for
No.
Tommy's benefit. Here is Omar Infante now with Reyes away from first. Buchholz from the belt. And Infante fouls it off. One of the key at-bats in this ball game was Infante's at-bat in the first inning. Reyes had tripled. The middle of the Red Sox infield was back. The corners were in. And all the Marlins needed was a ground ball up the middle or a fly ball. Buchholz struck out Infante, and then he promptly struck out Hanley Ramirez and Giancarlo Stanton. And the Marlins got nothing. Infante is actually the leading vote getter position-wise. He is third among National League second basemen. Dan Uggla, Brandon Phillips, Omar Infante. There's a base hit into left field.
And I guarantee right now in Omar Infante's mind, he's saying, why couldn't I have done that in the first inning? Yeah, I'm telling you, you think that way. Now, if you had given me names like Ethier, Beltran,
yeah, those are
that's okay.
They're in that list too.
Yes.
Melky Cabrera, Andre Ethier, Matt Holliday.
So you were playing with me a little bit.
Hunter Pence, Michael Bourne. Yeah, I was. I mean, I wasn't going right for the Ethiers and the Melkys. I was going to, or even Andrew McCutchen and Carlos Gonzalez. They're deserving.
They are. And like, so was Giancarlo.
Much like Giancarlo
Yes.
Stanton. Hanley Ramirez isn't even in the top 5 for third baseman. Buchholz. Broken bat roller up the middle. Aviles has it. Loads up, throws. Hanley beat it. Throw to the plate. Reyes is out. Wow. Jose Reyes trying to go from second to home. A heads-up play by Kevin Youkilis, and Reyes was out by 10 feet. question is, was he sent from third?
Well, sometimes when you have not scored a lot of runs, you try to force things. Hanley gets the infield base hit. Credit Youkilis taking his time and making a perfect throw. Joe Espada pointing to the plate. And again, the tough part about that whole play, you better be right because Giancarlo was left in the on-deck circle. And that's the tough part about that.
And you love to have Stanton with the bases loaded. Gabby Sanchez has that Pedroia grounder and will step on the bag. And you can see
right up here
Joe Espada. Now Reyes came around and he slowed up. So,
and the thing about Youkilis, he didn't rush it. Some first basemen might rush a little bit and overthrow it, make a poor throw. He knew he had time once he summed up the play, and he turned to the plate and made a nice, easy throw.
So two parts to that play. One part is might not have been the best of things to send it, but part two is Reyes stopped and hesitated a bit and then saw that there was going to be a play at the plate. And by the time he sped up, he was out by a great deal. I don't know if he was running hard, if that would have made a difference.
I don't think so.
Probably not. Burley and Youkilis, 0-2, and it's fouled off. We have an iPad question from Stacy, who says, love scoring the game on my iPad with iScore. Which do you guys prefer, iPad or old school scorecards? Roller to third. Hanley across the diamond in time.
I'll answer that after we go to trivia, because it's that time.
For its appointed round, AT&T Trivia brings you who holds the interleague record for consecutive starts without a loss. This is for Mark Burley, his 40th interleague start, and he's the all-time winner in interleague baseball at 24-6. As Will Middlebrooks steps in.
My answer on the iPad or regular old school scorebook, I think just because I've always done it with the scorebook in different colors, I would have a harder time in the iPad with colors and doing it that way. Not to say that I don't use the iPad. I use it all the time during a game, just not to keep score.
Middlebrooks shoots that one foul. Middlebrooks is a guy that has arrived with the injury they had to Youkilis. 23-year-olds out of Texas. And Baseball America had him as the #1 prospect in Boston's system coming into this year. 5th round draft pick, a high school draft pick back in 2007. He had an enormous year last year in AA and AAA. 23 homers and drove in 94 runs.
And was hitting .333 with 9 home runs this year in Pawtucket, AAA.
Ooh, pretty good pitch by Burley. Fox Tracks.
That's a part that I really love, and getting to see Mark Burley pitch every 5th day, to see how he still keeps a hitter honest and goes inside and then goes away with a great changeup. That's a great setup there.
3 strikeouts for Burley in a scoreless game. By Bennett Auto Supply. Our prices bring you in and our people bring you back. By Sagicor. Plan a bright financial future today at SagicorLifeUSA.com. By Coventry Healthcare of Florida, lighting the way to better health. Downtown Miami through Marlins Park. Cleveland Clinic 4th scoreless ball game. Boston and Miami on a email and Twitter Tuesday.
Can I throw a quick tweet at you, Rich?
Go ahead.
Bilal Jaber wants to know who's the funniest in the clubhouse. I think I have an answer for that. I'm curious what your answer would be.
Here's Giancarlo Stanton.
Marlins clubhouse, who's the funniest?
Edward Mojica.
Without question.
Stanton, as Tommy pointed out, would have been at the plate had Reyes held third on the infield hit by Hanley. That would have been a 2-out bases loaded spot.
I think we saw better at bats, certainly from the top of the order. They all got hits the second time around against Buchholz.
He buries an off-speed pitch, and it's 2-1.
And I think some of that is you can look at video, which I'm sure everybody did to watch Buchholz see what he throws. But until you stand in there 60 feet 6 inches away, you don't really know. You don't really know how the ball's going to move, what he'll throw in certain situations.
The King has a tweet, wants to know, why do umpires point when calling a strike? There is Logan Morrison. He's on deck. You got Gabby Sanchez to follow in the 4th in a scoreless game, Miami and Boston. Pretty good pitch there. I don't know if that was a
cutter or a slider.
A backup slider or a BP fastball.
Yeah. Effective, though.
Well, legend has it, one of the reasons umpires started to point for strikes and make the safe sign and the out sign, outside corner, Stanton is rung up, and he has struck out twice against Buchholz. Legend has it there was a player early in baseball history who was deaf. He had an unfortunate nickname, which probably wouldn't be used today. Dummy Hoy was deaf and was a very good player, but back then umpires did not pump the right hand for a strike. They didn't put the right hand up for an out or signal safe. They just yelled it. And so when he was in the league, umpires started to give hand signals, and then they realized the importance of that for fielders, for people in the dugout,
for fans
to really understand what umpires were calling. That's the legend.
And it would help on Fox tracks. But of course they didn't have it back then.
They had the working model, but it wasn't perfected.
I'm telling you, right now Buchholz is in and out. He's really moved the ball around well.
And Morrison's been behind the count seemingly all night long. He hit that soft line drive to second in his only AB. Razor wants to know, why did ESPN use the offset camera angle on home plate last night?
It's very observant on Razor's part. Of course, I'm a little upset that he wasn't watching us, but
he may have been watching from out of town. Morrison takes a fastball out. That's because Fox Sports Florida has the #1 position out in center field for center field camera, and it's more of a true center, which gives you a better look inside and out, whereas in a lot of ballparks the camera setup dictates that you have to have the offset to the third base side of second, which does not give you the true in and out. You're looking at home plate at an angle, so trying to decipher what's inside and outside. Players, when they look at video of a pitcher, they prefer the true center look. They don't like that offset look.
And I think that center look has given you a great shot of those last two pitches. Both fastballs, one just off the plate away, one just off the plate in.
And as you noted, he is moving it in and out. Morrison fouls it back and out of play. Stephanie wants to know, why don't you refer to little Jose as Josito?
We could.
Miami fan. How much longer before Emilio Bonifacio gets going again?
Had a lot of tweets on that. Rafael tweeted that earlier. We've got answers on Bonnie.
Morrison says, I want to hear.
Go ahead.
Well, the stitches are out, and he's going to start a little more stringent rehab regimen. The hope is that he's ready right around the All-Star break. 3-2. An ambitious return would be before the All-Star break. Maybe more realistic is right after the All-Star break.
Obviously, he's not been hitting, but he's been able to throw. He's been running and doing all the things he can. The glaring thing that you see without Bonifacio, who still leads the league in stolen bases, by the way. The Marlins had 40 stolen bases in May. They've had just 2 here in the month of June. I think the games at times have dictated that, but just 2 stolen bases in June.
Buchholz, 3-2 coming to Morrison. And he got him. When Morrison strikes out, Buchholz is piling up the strikeouts now. He's got 6 in the ball game. AT&T trivia answer. Interleague record for consecutive starts without a loss.
Andy Pettit.
Yeah. Kenny Rogers at 18.
Kenny Rogers, 18.
See,
wow.
That was in the notes, and in preparing for the game, I stumbled across that, so I didn't really want to throw any guesses out.
Well, Mark Burley tied with Maddox for second.
Now, Gabby Sanchez struck out back in the second. So 6 strikeouts for Buchholz. He struck out 6 in a complete game shutout against Baltimore. He threw 125 pitches. He even hit a couple of batters. That was in his last start.
You wonder if we could see this matchup the first game in Boston. I mean, each team has a day off, so it really depends on how Ozzie wants to plan it and how Bobby Valentine wants to work.
High fly ball, left field. McDonald is back, stops short of the track, and makes the catch. 1, 2, 3, go the fish. 4 in the books, scoreless.
Between the Marlins and the Red Sox. Over in the world of the NHL, a big congratulations to the Los Angeles Kings, who won their first ever Stanley Cup championship last night, winning 6-1 over the New Jersey Devils. And I have a feeling no one in South Florida was more excited than the Marlins' own Brett Hayes. He was born and raised out there in LA, a lifelong Kings fan. Even brought his own version of the Stanley Cup to the park. Here's his picture with him hoisting his own cup up and giving it a big kiss, like every hockey player's dream. And it's actually his dream too. He said, sole reason why I dreamt as a kid of being an LA King. He was showing it off, even took it out here on the field, took pictures with it. Also had a Wayne Gretzky jersey in his locker room. Now that cup that he took a picture with was actually one the team got during spring training. They were all playing NHL on their Xbox and had a bit of a tournament going. Whoever won was going to get that cup. They never did finish it, so no one on the team got to claim it, but Hayes got to keep it at his house because that's where they often played. When his wife made a run up to Jupiter, he said, I need two things, my Kings jersey and the cup, because they had quite an improbable run as the 8th seed to win it all. And Hayes could not be happier and definitely took full advantage of the bragging rights he now has over several of his teammates. Rich, Tommy, back to you guys.
Yeah, a long time coming for Kings fans and Brett Hayes.
It was over 40 years, right?
Adrian Gonzalez, Kelly Shopik, and Mike Aviles in the 5th. And Burley misses up and in. He walks Gonzalez. That brings up Shopik. Burley's given up just the double to Shopik. He poked a liner down the right field line back in the 2nd.
Shopik's one of those guys, Rich, that's had a little success against Mark Burley. He's 6 for 14 now with that double.
Some of the most obscure guys pop up as having great success against Burley. Who's on that? There's that all Burley list.
Well, Darnell McDonald's in the lineup. He's 6 for 11 against Burley.
I think he would qualify. Willie Bloomquist of Arizona owned him. Now, two guys who are not so obscure, Placido Polanco and Melky Cabrera, also had just incredible numbers against.
Melky Cabrera would have hit Cy Young in that series.
That's a good point. Burley misses out, and John Buck trots out to see what's up.
Melky Cabrera hitting .364, leading the National League. This is not a tweet, it's just a shout out. Mike wanted a shout out because he drove all the way from Tampa to Marlins Park last Saturday to see one of the games of that series and got home at 4:30 a.m. Nice going, Mike.
So you're giving him the shout out because he
made it home. Yeah.
It's a nice drive. A lot of Marlin fans are getting ready to make that drive at the end of this week to go to St. Pete to see Miami and Tampa Bay for another 3-game series. The Marlins will try to have much better success than they did when the Rays came in here and swept them. The Marlins bats were quiet, and it was almost a replay of the 3-game sweep at the hands of the Atlanta Braves. Shopik with a swing and a miss. Burley has evened the count now at 2-2. Boston has dropped 7 of 8. The Red Sox, after facing the Marlins, are headed up to face the Cubs, a weekend series against the Cubs. And then, of course, the Marlins are in Boston. Then the Braves follow the Marlins into Boston. To center. Coughlin is there, and he makes the catch. Toyota Trend tonight. Bobby Valentine and the Red Sox. By date, this is the latest in a season that the Red Sox have stood in last place since '97.
Yeah, the amazing thing about their season, they come into play tonight 29-32. The ball club, we've talked about all the struggles they've had, the injuries. Yet they lead the major leagues in doubles, and they lead the major leagues in extra base hits.
And a lot of people have pointed to Adrian Gonzalez and said, why isn't he having a better season? Why isn't he hitting more home runs? He's a guy that is getting extra base hit. He leads the American League with 22 doubles. That's second in the majors. Up the middle, Infante, 1 there, 2 there, and Burley exits the 5th inning with some help from Omar Infante. Josh Johnson last night beat the Red Sox, and in his last 7 starts, he's starting to look like the old Josh Johnson. 4-1 with a 2.70 ERA. The Marlins are counting on Josh Johnson. You can count on Just for Men Auto Stop for foolproof results. Bottom 5 scoreless: Boston and Miami. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Allison Williams, our social media contessa, is with us. Clay Buchholz as well. Chris Coughlin, John Buck, and then Mark Burley. Buchholz throws a strike. Coughlin flied out back in the 2nd. The Marlins have 4 hits in the ball game. Jose Reyes has half that total, a triple and a single. Omar Infante and Hanley Ramirez with base hits as well. And Coughlin with a fly ball out to center field. Pasednik is there, and he makes the catch.
Yeah, we had that play that ended last inning. It shows you how smart Mark Burley is. Watch this. He's a Gold Glover. He's made great plays, but he knew that Infante was right there. He backed off with his hand, let the ball go through, and it became an easy 4-3 double play. So, you know, even though we've seen him kick balls, knock balls down with his stomach, make great plays, he knew that one was right to his second baseman for a double play.
Now Buck, who has bounced out. The Braves have an early lead against the Yankees, 3-0. In the bottom of the 4th.
Matt Diaz has driven in all 3 runs.
The pride of Tallahassee. Have we said crack staff enough yet for the folks in Gainesville?
Well, they're just getting ready, both Tallahassee and Gainesville getting ready for the College World Series right now.
Having been in both places, they don't need any help to get ready for anything in Tallahassee or Gainesville. Both great college towns.
And I'm sure traveling well to Omaha, too.
1-1 pitch. Buchholz misses high. Chad Godin down in the bullpen getting some work. With Burley up right now, Godin, remember, had to suck it up on Saturday night. 4 2/3 innings. That was one of his longest appearances in a long time.
Yeah, and I think because he's like right now a starter throwing between starts. Was available tonight, but once the game has gotten to this point of the game, then Ozzie probably let them know down to the bullpen, okay, go ahead and get a little work in and get loose.
See if Buck gets something to hit here. 3-1. He was ready to toss the bat. Papa John's
and
Fox tracks.
Well, number 5 was right there. Number 3 was up. Number 5 was in the zone.
That one almost sounded like it clipped the bat knob or the hand of Buck, which if it hit the knob of the bat, it's strike 3 because it was caught by the catcher, Kelly Shoppick. Can we listen to that and
so
see
many
it again?
times an umpire goes by what he hears, and yeah, I heard the same thing.
There is a little sound there just before it goes into the glove.
We'll have to ask John about that tomorrow.
Well, Burley now will try to move the runner, and he fouls it back.
Write that down on your list of questions.
Duly noted. Let's watch.
It did change directions.
Here's the 0-2. It's up. Let's take another look at that and watch the catcher's glove and see if it's the catcher's glove that hits. Wow, the bat, the barrel of the bat, the catcher's glove, and the ball are all in the same spot. Here's the 1-2. Burley fouls up. It's hard to tell, Tommy, whether the glove hit the bat, the ball hit the bat, and then went into the glove, but they all 3 were in the same spot, and there was a noise before it went into the glove.
Yeah, and it did appear there was a little change of direction, too. John Buck's been talking about it, I guarantee.
Euclid wants to know. Burley unable to move the runner. It would have been nice because Reyes has had 2 very good at-bats against Buchholz. But Buck remains at first with 2 outs. Reyes has tripled and singled. Drives this one to center pretty deep. Pasednik got turned around and got moved around again and makes the catch halfway on the warning track. It's about as far as Jose Reyes can hit it. Still scoreless.
Neat things about Marlins Park here. We're in the promenade level. Whether you're going to get some food here, visit one of the stores, the condiments here like they're doing, is you don't lose the game. Even if you're online, you can look back and take a look over, no matter where you walk. The ball game is right there. You go to the bathroom, you can see the Orange Bowl display. Even the lineups, check out the lineups that they have on all the walls here as you move on both sides. But wherever you go, you never lose the game. You can keep score. It's one of the neat things about this park and some of the more modern parks in Major League Baseball. I don't believe you get that one at Fenway Park, guys.
Fenway Park's a cool place, but we'll be able to contrast and compare when we get there next week. Darnell McDonald of the Red Sox here in the 6th. Breaks his bat. Infante waits for the ground ball and bounces the throw. McDonald is aboard. It'll be an error on Infante. And that's as routine a play as you'll find. And a very good second baseman just made.
Well, he had time, plenty of time, and you rarely see him make that poor throw. And if he does, at times he'll get a little help from Gabby. That time Gabby couldn't pick it. And the error charged to Infante.
Burley, of course, has the great pickoff move. And he chases McDonald back. There's the bunt. Burley on it. And Buchholz moves the runner, something the Marlins were unable to do in their half. And Buchholz gets it down. All right, we have a note from BENSP, who is deaf, and says, Rich and Tommy, thank you for talking about Dummy Hoy. I think it's great education for your viewers. By the way, can you show the closed captioning in Marlins Park? As a fan, a deaf fan that comes to games, I find it very helpful. And there it is. The closed captioning of the public address announcer is shown here at Marlins Park. Down each line. Sednick takes a strike. Sednick is lined out and bounced out. He's had pretty much the best swings for the Red Sox the first 2 nights of this series. He had 3 hits last night. And his out in the first was a sinking liner to right. You got McDonald, who scoots pretty well at second.
Yeah, pretty good speed out there at second base. There are a lot of visual aids here at Marlins Park. And I'm not just talking about the Clevelander.
Swing and a miss, and Buck digs it out, tags him out. Big strikeout for Burley. Now he has to go after Pedroia with McDonald still at second and 2 outs. EJ Heat has this tweet. I'm coming over from Lakeland and taking a shuttle bus from Selman's in Tampa to Tropicana Field Sunday for Fish and Rays. Also going for the Three Doors Down ZZ Top concert.
Oh,
apparently
that sounds good to me.
That's going on over in St. Pete as well. I think they're playing tonight at the Hard Rock in Hollywood here in South Florida.
A little Texas rock and roll.
Pedroia, strikeout victim in the first, bounced to third in the fourth. There's McDonald. He reached on the Infante error. Tapper, Hanley goes and gets that big hop and flips to first in time. Gabby had to stretch, but he squeezes it for the 3rd out. And Mark Burley still pitching a scoreless game, but so is Clay Buchholz.
Marlins. It is our Email Twitter Tuesday, and I am joined by a couple very avid Marlins fans and tweeters. I'm here with Rafi from Down the Right Field Line and Kristen from Marlins Nation. Rafi, I'm going to start with you because you guys did something pretty unique tonight. Tell me about the ticket giveaway you did for our Twitter Tuesday.
Well, basically, we gave away out 20 tickets for those who tweeted out the most on our show, and you know, luckily we got them out. We got the tickets out, and they're out here enjoying a good time.
Where are they all sitting? Are they all around here, where it's dispersed?
Yeah, dispersed around this section, and you know, just enjoying the game together as Marlins fans.
And this was all part of a ploy to get you on our Email Twitter Tuesday, so they succeeded.
Definitely, we did succeed.
Definitely worth it. And Kristen, he solicited some of your help because you were at Marlins Nation. And tell me a little bit about how long you've been on Twitter and how much of a Marlins fan you are and how you use Twitter to show that.
Well, with Marlins Nation, the owner's actually in Venezuela.
Okay.
So I just started about 4 weeks ago with Marlins Nation, and we have 2 different Twitters, and we have a Facebook page that we run. And I've been a fan my whole life. I was one of those people who would sit there during the rain and wait for the games. But
you enjoy this new ballpark very much.
Yeah, it's great. I'm here all the time.
And Rafi, you're not just on Twitter, which is at Down the RF Line. You're also on YouTube. What is the YouTube channel you guys have?
Correct. We're at Down the RF Line on YouTube. You just search it on the search and we'll be there, and you can catch our videos and just talk Marlins baseball. And I think that's how this whole thing came about. Is, you know, my cousin and I would talk about Marlins baseball all the time. You know what? See if other fans like us have the same feelings towards it, and we went ahead and did this, and so far it's been a great success.
All right, that's where you can find Rafi and Kristen, and of course you can always find us at FS Marlins on Twitter. Also, go to the Fox Sports Florida website, go to Game Connect, and click on Email the Booth. If you don't have a Twitter, you can still reach out to us on email. Rich, Tommy, back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Allison. Scoreless ball game. There's how you can get involved in the telecast tonight. Or you can be a starting pitcher like Clay Buchholz or Mark Burley. It's been a terrific night for both these pitchers. Buchholz has given up 4 hits. Burley has given up just 1.
We've had fans say, oh, the roof should be open all the time. I'd like to see those folks relaxed and tweeting in July, sitting out there in a day game. How much fun that would be.
Now Hanley, who had an infield hit, a broken bat roller up the middle in the 3rd. That was the good news. The bad news was Jose Reyes tried to score from second on it. Mike Aviles threw to first, and Kevin Youkilis had plenty of time to take his time and throw to home plate, and Kelly Shopik had the ball waiting. Reyes didn't even slide. And it wasn't even close.
This is another good opportunity, certainly in the 1st inning with the leadoff triple. That 3rd inning was a little different because everything came with 2 out. Even Craig Minervini tweeting out some shout outs or some information. Who knows?
Come on, he's ordering food at the ballpark. Come on. Buchholz with a breaking ball for a strike to open the AB. Now Infante has stolen 7 bases. You talked about the Marlins running game and how it really has slowed with the loss of Bonifacio. Even though Reyes has 16 stolen bases, Hanley has 10, and Infante inching away from first, 7 of 8 on the season.
Buchholz has shown a pretty good move over to first base.
And a quick move to the plate, and Hanley fouls it off himself. That infield hit by Hanley snapped a 1 for 26. That's one we don't need to telestrate.
That out in front looked like a changeup. And we told you Buchholz has been throwing really well. His last 2 starts, Clay Buchholz is 2-0 with a 1.06 ERA, and you throw in 5 shutout innings here so far this evening, and that ERA is below 1. So he's on a nice roll.
Hanley is still in some pain, and Ozzie Guillen comes out with Sean Cunningham.
Would love to hear that conversation that Ozzie and Hanley are having.
Nissan presents leaders of the game. Marlins where they're 62, still the most in the National League. But as Tommy pointed out, it's really slowed to a trickle in the month of June.
Just 2 in the month of June.
Counts 0-2. Hanley able to compose himself and get back in the box. We've had this tweet a few times about Emilio Bonifacio wanting to know if Bonifacio had not been hurt, would he have a chance to break the all-time steals record? And the answer, at least my answer, would be no.
I don't think that's one that may not be broken with the way the game is played. A little different now than back in the 80s when there was a lot more base stealing. I think it's, the whole concept is a little different. I think he would have had a chance to set some records, but I don't think he would have broken the all-time record.
That's Mike who wanted to know.
Boy, he was so great, too. Look at the efficiency. He'd only been thrown out once.
The one time he was thrown out was the time he hurt his thumb, right?
Yes.
Hanley hanging in there with the count 0-2. Oh, 2 coming. It's outside. Cracked staff. Quickly finding that Ricky Henderson holds the all-time record, 130. Breaking the record of Lou Brock.
And becoming the all-time leading base stealer.
Fonte still at first. Buchholz still working on Hanley Ramirez. Hanley putting up a good fight here, fouls it back. Pitch count wise, Buchholz right now at 81 and Burley is at 74.
Burley's already completed his 6 innings. Very efficient for Mark Burley. He at least knew the roof was going to be open. Josh Johnson didn't know it last night until he went down and started stretching before he began his warm-ups in the bullpen. Then he saw the roof started to open.
Well, Buchholz continues to pound the strike zone. Hanley continues to fight pitches off. Orion tweets, how about a shout out to your Australian fans watching live on One Sports Sydney. For you Australian fans watching, honorary member of our crack staff is a former big league shortstop, Craig Shipley, native Australian. 1-2 in, and it's 2-2.
I think, Rich, one of these winters we could take that trip over to Australia because it's summertime over there. And I think to break the trip up, you stop off in Hawaii and spend a few days there and then head over to Australia.
2-2, long at bat here. Hanley Ramirez, Clay Buchholz, scoreless game, and Fonte a leadoff walk. Hanley rifles that one hard to short. Aviles out there. The relay is in time. Aviles to Pedroia to Euclid.
Well, that's a great double play. They were shaded up the middle, and Aviles, who's played a very steady shortstop for Valentine and the Red Sox, reacted, went to his right and picked it. This ball was hit sharply. See how he shaded up the middle? He backhands and then pops up and makes a perfect throw to Pedroia, who always turns it so well.
And so the Marlins are left with nobody on and 2 out, and Giancarlo Stanton coming up. Aviles to Terrific defensive shortstop. The guy that was kind of a hidden gem in Kansas City.
Over the years, there have been a few of those. Carlos Beltran, he's one.
Now Stanton. Buchholz misses out with a fastball.
We talked about some of the areas the Red Sox lead offensively. They're tied for second in the American League in turning double plays.
Stanton went after a breaking ball that was a good 1.5 to 2 feet outside. It's been a frustrating night for Giancarlo.
He has not looked real comfortable against Buchholz.
Went down swinging in the first, looking in the fourth. 1-1. All the way to the screen. Told you Buchholz not a big strikeout guy coming into the ballgame, but he already has 7.
Yeah, that's tied his season high. His career high is 10th. And it wasn't against Baltimore.
That's amazing, because that's where the 3 career shutouts are against Baltimore, including the 1 no-hitter. 2-1 pitch. Now he got a fastball on a fastball count, and he missed it. It's 2-2. He may not get another one.
Yeah, earlier in the game on a fastball count, he got that curveball.
Burley's gone 6, has given up a hit, and has struck out 4. Buchholz has scattered 4 hits, 2 walks, and the 7 strikeouts.
There's that changeup.
Stanton identified it quickly and watched it dip low. Three-two coming. Got him. Doubled up on that changeup. Frustrating night for both sides as far as hitting goes. Terrific night for the starting pitchers. Clay Buchholz has punched out 8. That's a season high. Mark Burley has given up just 1 hit, a walk. He has 4 strikeouts, and it's scoreless going into the top of the 7th. And here is Burley getting ready to face the teeth of the Boston order. Kevin Youkilis, Will Middlebrooks, and Adrian Gonzalez. Youkilis takes down low. Youkilis is one of those guys that it really would be hard to see him in another uniform, just to picture him in another uniform. He's been such a part of the Red Sox over the last 5 years.
Yeah, such an important part, too. A guy who's always been patient at the plate. What was it that Billy Beane tabbed him?
The Greek god of walks. Here's the 3-1. Up the middle. Backhanded. Infante, plenty of time, and he's on the money. Good scouting, good play.
That wasn't quite the shift, but it was a great scouting report to position Infante there.
Tico presents a look at the National League East standings. The Nationals just keep winning. They have a 3-game lead over Atlanta. As we told you, Miami and New York are 5 back, and the Phillies are 8.5 back. First pitch, breaking ball, lined to right. Giancarlo plays it on a hop.
Good job by Giancarlo. There are times your thought is maybe I can make that catch and you make a dive, but in a 0-0 ball game, if you dive and don't get it, all of a sudden it's 3 bases for Middlebrook. So you want to make sure you keep that ball in front of you.
Where was that? New York this year against the Mets?
So a good decision, a good choice by Giancarlo in right field.
Where he did make a dive at a ball and it bounced by him for a triple. Late in a ball game and a tight ball game. Here's Adrian Gonzalez. He rifles one to center field. Coughlin got turned around, now finds it and makes the catch. We've seen both center fielders get turned around on balls similar to that. Pasednik spun around once and then came back around on the deep fly ball by Jose Reyes, and now Gonzalez sends Coughlin back there.
I think with the roof open and some elements, wind swirling around, it's a little more of a challenge for outfielders, and we've seen that a couple of times in center field.
Shopik now has doubled, and he's flied to center. Lines it in the gap, left center field. That's trouble. Middlebrooks around second, on his way to third, and Boston's going to get the first run of this ball game. Kelly Shopik, an RBI double.
Kelly Shopik now 7 for 16 against Mark Burley, and that's huge because it comes with 2 outs. Pitch kind of drifted middle of the plate, and once Shopik found the gap, you knew Middlebrooks was going to be able to score from first base. Doesn't run all that well, average speed, but the depth of left center, that allowed him to score.
Here is Aviles now, and Shopik is out at second. Everywhere they go, the Red Sox travel terrifically. Red Sox Nation makes an appearance all over the place.
It's the first time they've really had something to cheer about. They really, last night, didn't have a whole lot to cheer about. So they're making their presence known right now.
You'll see him over in St. Pete. You'll see him in Kansas City, Texas, Anaheim, Oakland, Seattle. All the American League stops. That's what you get with a franchise that has been in existence. It's back to the 1800s. Long suffering until these last 10 years or so, where the curse was broken in 04. They got their second World Championship in 4 seasons in 07. Pop up, Buck to the rail. He couldn't make the catch. It was off of his glove. And let's take a look.
Boy, got there right as John Buck got there. Difficult play. He stayed with it. Got a glove on it. tough to put that one away. Tough to get the glove in the right angle. We're talking about Red Sox Nation. They used to refer to Camden Yards as Fenway South.
Soft liner, and it falls. It's 2-0. Aviles dumps one into center.
Well, Aviles has played a big part in this game. He started that double play. The ball that Hanley hit. Great effort, stabbing one to his backhand, and now produces their second run with another 2-out base hit. Good at bat, pretty good pitch, just off the end of the bat, out of the reach of Coghlan.
Randy St. Clair is on his way out to the mound, and John Buck a slow walk as well. The Marlins bullpen is getting up, and somebody is about to throw. It's Randy Choate.
Well, the Red Sox getting a little production from down at the bottom, from Shopik, Aviles. Now the number 8 hitter, Darnell McDonald, is going to step in.
Marlins had opportunities early to get on the board. A leadoff triple by Jose Reyes in the first, and the Marlins couldn't budge him. Clay Buchholz then struck out Infante, Ramirez, and Stanton. Marlins had 3 consecutive hits in the third, but Reyes was thrown out at the plate trying to score on Hanley's infield hit. Reyes was at second at the time. And now those little things seem rather large.
When you have opportunities, I want to say against any team, but especially against a good team, you've got to produce.
Darnell McDonald, a guy that's been in the big leagues on and off for a while. He's 33 is McDonald. Originally a first-round pick of the Baltimore Orioles.
He's played, Rich, over 1,300 games in the minor leagues.
Yeah, he has he has about 5,200 at bats in the minor leagues.
That's incredible.
He is the cousin of James McDonald, the young hard-throwing right-hander for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And he graduated from Cherry Creek High School.
Those hot Pittsburgh Pirates. Pirates have won 12 out of 15.
Cherry Creek High School produced Brad Lidge and David Ardsmill, also big leaguers in Colorado. Yeah, the Pirates
come into play tonight, tied with Cincinnati.
We were talking about Youkilis earlier in the night, and some of the rumors that possibly he might be traded someplace. Philadelphia was a name, and Pittsburgh actually had popped in there. The 2-1.
All of a sudden you have clubs that are playing that way. Well, if they continue, they could fall into that category as buyers and not sellers.
Broken bat, and another soft single. On his way to third, and out. Oh, wow. Hanley with the tag sliding by it was Aviles, and apparently Hanley didn't get him. Aviles challenging Chris Coghlan on a broken bat single. McDonald ends up at second base, and here's another look.
A good charge by Coghlan, a good throw. Pretty good angle by the third base ump, Ron Kulpa. It's hard to tell by that angle, but you have to think Kulpa saw that Hanley didn't touch him.
And Hanley did not argue, so you'd have to think that he missed him.
Good base running by Aviles.
Bobby Valentine is going to let Buchholz hit here after picking up 2 runs in the 7th. Buchholz is at 90 pitches. And Burley, it's 94.
This should be the. Now you never see Hanley touch it. And that was the view that Culpa had.
So Boston has a couple of runs, and now McDonald and Aviles are in scoring position. 1-1 pitch, line to center. In comes Coghlan, dives, and he got it! Chris Coghlan with a catch, and that saves 2 runs. Chris Coghlan. It's 2-0. Boston. There tonight. The Red Sox have 2 runs in the top of the 7th. They almost had 4 runs were it not for Chris Coghlan. The ball bounces. Watch this, and it appears to bounce while in the glove of Coghlan.
Yeah, his glove is underneath it. He cups it in, makes a grab. That is a tremendous play, and even more so because it saved 2 more runs. Complete extension. Great job and a great catch by Chris Coghlan.
Well, now the Marlins have to figure out Clay Buchholz here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Logan Morrison will lead it off. Gabby Sanchez and then Coghlan. Last night we talked about Boston's bullpen. You see Buchholz's line. Right now he doesn't need that bullpen. But with 90 pitches going into the 7th, that could change pretty quickly. Boston's bullpen has been a strength this year, and it's kind of patched together much like their regular lineup. The Red Sox pen since the 23rd of April is the 2nd best in all of baseball with an ERA of 2.12.
I don't think it's going to take too much for Bobby Valentine to get on the phone if Buchholz struggles at all in this inning.
That bullpen was not good to start the year, but as I've noted, since that mark, Morrison trying to bunt, and there's no shift on.
It's a semi-shift. I mean, Middlebrooks is well off the line. He's not in a complete shift, not over the shortstop position, but he is way off the line. To start the inning, not a bad thought from Logan Morrison.
Oh, 1. Buchholz sails it outside. Morrison, a soft line drive out and a strikeout. Driven to right. If it's fair, it's gone. Gone. And it's 2-1.
Boy, that's the way to get one back in a hurry.
And a Coast Guard salute from Morrison. a 2-1 ball game. Boy, the ball really has just jumped off his bat over the last 3 ball games.
Boy, there was never a doubt of this. The only question was, would it hook foul? But he kept this ball fair with that swing. Great hand action. Kept it fair in an absolute line drive home run that was out of here quickly.
Gabby Sanchez, now the Boston bullpen is up. Breaking ball misses inside, and it's 1-0. Morrison, his 5th home run. He doubled off the top of the wall in yesterday's ball game. A letter high strike.
We had a tweet earlier, I don't remember who it was from, wondering who had hit the most. The former Marlin Andrew Miller loosening up. Who's hit the most home runs for the Marlins here? Giancarlo has hit 8. Hanley's hit 5.
Outside corner. Boy, that's 2 tough strikes there. Warren Henry fox tracks. Pitch number 2 and pitch number 3. One, 2. Gabby fouls it back and out of play. So a scoreless ball game until this 7th inning. Boston from the bottom of their lineup gets 2 runs. With 1 swing, Logan Morrison gets 1 of those runs back. Both teams have 5 hits. Both teams have their bullpen working. Boston's, in case Buchholz can't get through this inning. The Marlins, in case Burley's spot comes up. Struck him out. So Sanchez caught looking. 9 strikeouts now for Buchholz.
Oh, he's 1 away from his career high.
Chris Coghlan now. Great catch by Coghlan. It obviously saved a couple of runs with 2 outs. Both runners were on the move on that soft line drive by Buchholz. Chris is 0 for 2, couple fly ball outs, and on an 0 for 13 run right now. And he goes after a pitch in the dirt.
Yeah, it's been a rough go for Chris Coghlan. You mentioned the 0 for. He has just 7 hits in 62 at-bats here in this ballpark. Yet one of those, his only home run of the season, was a big one against the Giants.
Little roller up the line. It kicks fair. Buchholz gets hammered as he tried to tag Coghlan, and he is down and gets right back up. Buchholz, I think, lost track of exactly where he was and where Coghlan was. That wasn't your average sweep tag. Coghlan was just running up the line hard.
Yeah, it's good play by Buchholz and a hard, clean hit by Coghlan. He's just running up the line. The ball kind of kicked back. It looked like it was going to go foul. And, of course, Buchholz fielded it right as Coghlan was running by. So he sees him. He kind of reaches over a little too far. Didn't quite get the sweep tag. Got a little more of Coghlan than he wanted, but hung on to the ball.
Yeah, he showed the ball as he was going down.
Great effort.
That's great work in the truck on that Fox mode look. 2 outs, and here is Buck. Braves still leading the Yankees in the bottom of the 7th, 3-0. They have CC Sabathia on the ropes right now. They have the bags loaded and 1 out. One to 0. Buck to center. That's deep. Pasednik has room, and in the corner he makes the catch. About 410 feet from home plate. The Marlins get one back. Logan Morrison. They nearly got another. And it's 2-1 Red Sox into the 8th. Corona Light offering 6 lucky Marlin fans the chance to win 4 tickets in a Fiesta Suite for an upcoming game at Marlins Park. Just go to your local participating retailer and look for the Corona Light display for details on how to enter and win. Relax responsibly. 2-1, it's Boston on top. Let's go out to the Clevelander and Craig Minervini. Craig?
Rich, a hot spot out here in honor of Lomo. This is the Lomo drink they have. Frozen margarita, frozen rum runner, pina colada, and a frozen Red Bull vodka all into one. It's the hottest drink out here. We're going to try and find somebody.
Shotgun it,
we're going to try and find somebody maybe to taste this. How does that sound? How about these two? You guys, oh, no, they have drinks. All right, maybe next time.
You taste it.
No, well, we'll find. Maybe we can find somebody. Excuse me. How do you like this? Is that the Lomo?
This is the Lomo.
What are the odds this could happen, that someone right here would be drinking? Could you taste that and tell us how that is for us?
It's fabulous. I love the Lomo.
You ever had anything like that?
I haven't. It's fabulous.
And also, the proceeds go to the American Lung Association. I don't know if you knew that.
I'm sorry?
Proceeds go to the American Lung Association.
Wonderful.
And also other charities. Now, wait, there's someone else over here who has the Lomo. There's another thing. You get a free shot. Where is he? Come here. Free shot if you do the Lomo. See, if you do that at the bar, you get a free shot. How about that? Pretty good, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's mine for after the show. All right. All right, so that's it, guys. The Lomo, a hot drink out here. Come on out after the game.
Craig, that was one of your best interviews of the year.
Thank you. The odds of running into somebody like that. I was just looking for someone and was lucky enough to find this young lady.
Good timing. Just amazing. All good reporters have good timing.
Got to be in the right spot sometimes.
Yeah.
Scott Pasednik 0 for 3. Steve Cishek out of Falmouth, Massachusetts. And Cishek beats Pasednik to the bag. And there's one out. By the way, Scott Pasednik is the Cholula hot sauce player, West High School. That is in West Texas, which is actually a city in Central Texas. He was the prom king in a class of 100. And we told you last night, he never really got a chance to play in Seattle. That was a veteran ball club led by Lou Piniella. Pasednik was a left fielder. There was another left fielder that was stuck in the minors and really wasn't getting a chance to play, Raul Ibanez. And Ibanez had to go someplace else to play. Yep. Pasednik ended up in Milwaukee.
And he was early on in his career. You saw that at one time a Marlins farmhand. he was traded to the Marlins for Bobby Witt. Remember the right-hander? And played a couple of years, Podsednik did, for the Marlins in Brevard County and Kane County.
Cishek misses outside. Now, Steve Cishek last night, a scoreless inning. He handled the 8th. Podsednik had a base hit. Pedroia bounced out against him and then handed it off to Heath Bell, who nailed down a 4-1 win. Marlins in a different spot here tonight. Pedroia hits a high fly ball. Coughlin and Morrison, and it's Coughlin who makes the catch. Here, Boston's on top by a score of 2-1, and the Marlins avoided the back end of the Red Sox bullpen last night, but it looks like they're going to get it tonight.
They're going to get a little taste of it tonight.
Here's Euclid. Vicente Padilla.
The well-traveled Vicente Padilla.
Because of the way the game has picked up, we haven't been able to get back into the emails and the tweets. But we can tell you that thanks to Black and Gold 12, a tweet that Donovan Solano's brother has hit his first home run as a National. Jonathan Solano.
And he's having himself a 2-for-3 night as the Nationals have a 4-2 lead in Toronto in the 7th inning.
Euclid. And Tommy, amazingly, in your major league career, you are never hit by a pitch, which is
it's still pretty incredible.
It is still pretty incredible. But Euclid was in that spot where he knew he was going to get hit.
There was no chance for him to get out of the way of that one. Anytime, I've always thought when a pitcher wants to hit a batter, you go with the midsection because they really can't get out of the way. If it's up above, you can kind of duck and dart, but that's right at the midsection. He might have caught it on the elbow a little bit, but there's really no way to get out of the way of that.
And now Cishek is not throwing at Euclid.
Oh, absolutely not.
2 outs in a 1-run game. Look at you. He's still, look at the sweat coming off his face after that. Guy with great intensity out of the University of Cincinnati. Cishek back to work, and a fastball misses high. Cishek, I'm sure it's not in his mind right now, but he may think after the game, I can't believe I dotted one of my heroes. Because he grew up, obviously, in Massachusetts. He grew up a Celtics fan, a Patriots fan, a Red Sox fan.
It's one of those situations you have to try to get out of your head as you look in to get the sign. You have to say to yourself, that's Kevin Euclid. And you have to kind of get that out of your head.
Breaking ball and a strike.
A lot of people feel he might not end the season in a Red Sox uniform. As we talked earlier, that'll look strange.
That will. Ground ball Infante's way, and he'll throw Will Middlebrooks out. Cishek works a scoreless 8th just like he did last night. Marlins are a run shy going to the bottom of the 8th. 2-1 Boston. Starters. Felix Doubront will go for the Red Sox, the lefty against Ricky Nolasco. Nolasco and Doubront tomorrow, 6:30 for Marlins Live. Tonight, Red Sox and Marlins into the bottom of the 8th, and it's 2-1, Boston on top. Marlins won 4-1 last night. Both Mark Buehrle and Clay Buchholz pitched well in this one. Buchholz is lined up for the win, Buehrle for the loss. Adrian Gonzalez, you saw him, he moves from right to first. Ryan Sweeney comes in at right, and Kevin Youkilis is out of the ball game. Vicente Padilla is on the mound. Now that's a switch that may have been made even if Youkilis had not been hit, so it's hard to put one and one together and say he's out because he got hit.
I would agree. I think he's out because of the double switch. This gives him a Gold Glove at first base. Not that Youkilis is not. He could pick it over there.
He won a Gold Glove as well in his time. And
it proves their outfield play with Sweeney in right field.
Sweeney's terrific. Padilla with an ephus-like breaking ball.
That's certainly, when you go in to pinch hit, that's not the pitch you're going to look for first pitch.
Well, Greg Dobbs gets the assignment. Dobbs is up there in a one-run game. That was not quite Bill Lee-like. Remember, he threw that ephus breaking ball that Tony Perez hit out in the World Series.
It's amazing. It's usually a pitch. When he throws it, he'll throw it on the first pitch.
Dobbs quickly at 0-2. Padilla has a little bit of nasty in him. He's always been a guy that has thrown inside, and opposing hitters have never liked to face. When in Philadelphia, he had that great fan club, the Padilla's Flotillas. And he's right up there at 107. I think his probably hurt more than Moyer's 146. 0-2 coming to Dobbs. And he struck him out. Dobbs didn't like the call, but Padilla strikes him out. Let's take a look. Warren Henry, Fox Tracks. Dobbs was right. It was in.
Yep, inside. Tough when you have a good knowledge of the strike zone and you really have a game plan up there, and you take a pitch that in your mind is a ball and it actually is. There's that first pitch ephus curveball to show you how long Padilla's been around. That Padilla Flotilla group was at the Vet in Veterans Stadium.
He likes to throw that first pitch up and at bat, doesn't he?
He can talk to Jim Wolf over there at first base.
That's right. That's when Randy Wolf was on that staff. He had the Wolf pack. They were not as enjoyable, though, as the backup catchers group. Sal Fasano's Paisanos. Reyes up there. The count's 2-0. Marlins would love to get him on.
Boy, he's going to try to work it. He's really swung the bat well tonight. You know, this might be a situation because he swung the bat well. He may not be taking all the way here.
That's out. As much heat as Bobby Valentine has received, and some of it's unwarranted with a roster that has been patched together. His bullpen has been one of his best strokes as a manager this year. He's had to piece that together as well with all the relievers he's had on the disabled list. Bailey, Jenks. That one's down the middle. He's had to take guys like Padilla and Andrew Miller, guys that were starters, and make them into viable relievers. And as we told you, from The 23rd of April on, the Red Sox bullpen has the second best ERA in all of baseball. 3-1 coming. Reyes fouls it off.
A lot of at-bats for Jose against Padilla, and some success.
Padilla actually picked up a win in relief in mid-April. His 8th career win in relief and his first since 2001 with the Phillies against Baltimore in the vet. "3-2. Reyes stays alive. Padilla can still wing it up there.
He can still throw. That's exactly right. He cuts the ball. Has a good cutter, good slider.
94 miles an hour on that fastball. With the Dodgers the past 3 seasons, after 3 years in Texas, after coming from Philadelphia, got to the big leagues first in '99 with Arizona. Down the left field line, just foul. Wow, just foul.
That's a good battle, and it was just foul. For a minute, it looked like Reyes thought it was foul all the way, and then he took off. Kind of looks at it, and then he takes off because he thinks this ball has a chance.
Still 3-2. Padilla has pounded the strike zone with fastballs once he fell behind after he missed early in the count. Another 3-2 is coming. Reyes bangs it into center field, got some carry on it, and it allows Podsednik time to run under it and make the catch.
Well, Reyes was upset. You could see as he went down the line, and that ball continued to carry, and Podsednik came out of the blue to make the play. You could see his reaction, and it wasn't a good one because he had a good battle. Good AB, good swing. Right about there, he was hoping that ball was in a gap for another double or triple.
So a 2 for 4 night for Reyes. Here's Infante. It was 1 for 2 with a walk.
Boy, his 2 outs. How about the deep fly ball Reyes hit last time up to center?
That's the one Podsednik got turned around on and caught right in the middle of the warning track, about 410 feet.
By the way, up in Toronto, that Washington leading 4-2. You talked about Jonathan Solano with his first major league home run. Bryce Harper with a home run. Another 3-hit game. That's 2 3-hit games in a row against the Blue Jays.
1-0 pitch coming to Infante. And he fouls it back. Padilla, speaking of early arrivals in the big leagues, out of Nicaragua, was tutored by Dennis Martinez, who we occasionally see at the ballpark here in Miami. His first year of professional baseball, he went from single A to the big leagues with the Diamondbacks in '99. One pitch. Little roller out towards short. Aviles has it, and he's not going to get him. I think Infante surprises a lot of infielders with his speed.
It was a ball that had a little bit of trickiness to the hop, and as Aviles came in, just a slight bobble, slight hesitation in the transition. There's the little bit, didn't get the great grip, and you're right. And Infante gets up that line a lot faster than most infielders think.
Two-hit night for Infante, but importantly, it brings Hanley Ramirez up. All right, we've seen Padilla throw that Ephus-like curveball to 2 of the 3 hitters in their at-bats on the first pitch.
Yeah, each time he did it, though, nobody was on base.
Fastball up. Hanley's career numbers against Padilla. Marlins in the bottom of the 8th, down 2-1. Padilla throws a strike. 95 miles an hour, a ball and a strike. He will turn 35, Will Padilla, in September. It seems like he should be in his 40s. As I noted, he got to the big leagues so quickly. A couple of fastball strikes that Hanley has watched.
Hanley's in one of those situations. He's due for a day off. He's played a lot of games. I thought he might get it tonight, and maybe we could see Dobbs at third. Tomorrow night, a left-hander, though. And Felix Dubron, Hanley will probably be in there. Then an off day as the team travels over to St. Pete. But he's just not had real good at-bats.
Well, he has an infield hit, which was essentially a broken bat roller up the middle. He's bounced into a double play, and he struck out. So 2 for his last 28. And Padilla says, well, I'm just staying with the high fastball. 1-2. MT tweets that Padilla's curveball was so slow it didn't register on the radar gun. How often does that happen?
Never on the turnpike.
Hanley gets jammed, dumps it into shallow right. It falls for a base hit. Infante on his way to third. And he'll take the turn at the corners. And now this could get fun because here comes Giancarlo against the hard-throwing Padilla.
Well, it was a battle for Hanley. Didn't hit the ball all that well, but just out of the reach of Pedroia going into shallow right field. And that keeps it alive for Stanton.
Giancarlo Stanton has not had the best of nights. Clay Buchholz struck him out 3 times. It's Vicente Padilla now against Stanton. Padilla has been featuring that 95, 96 mile an hour fastball. Would he dare throw the eephus pitch to Stanton at first pitch? Nope.
I don't think he uses it as much when they're men on base.
When things get tight?
Yeah.
When he can get hurt by a 3-run homer?
Well, and also if he really got in a pattern of doing that, you have a guy like Hanley at first with speed. It's a great pitch to steal on. We threw that one by Giancarlo. 96 for Padilla.
1 ball, 1 strike. $29,000 in the house tonight.
Again, these are those situations. Stanton has to think base hit. Base hit ties it.
Fouls it off. One and two. The Braves bullpen has coughed up the lead against the Yankees. 6-4 Yankees in the 8th in Atlanta. Outfield exceptionally deep and towards right center. Hanley at first. Infante at third. Stanton behind in the count, 1 and 2. Padilla ready. Outside corner. Rung him up. And Stanton has struck out 4 times tonight. And that one hurts the most. Still 2-1 Boston. Giancarlo Stanton took a called third strike. Tough night for Stanton. He has struck out 4 times. After the game, Marlins Live brought to you by Checkers. Lomo continues to swing a hot bat. He's homered. Terrific starting pitching. Clay Buchholz a run better than Mark Burley in this one. That's all coming up. Craig Minervini and Jeff Conine. This is Edward Mujica. He takes over and is charged with the 9th. Adrian Gonzalez, Kelly Shopik, Micah Vilas.
You mentioned that game in Atlanta, the Yankees and Braves. Yankees taking a 6-4 lead. Alex Rodriguez with home run number 639 in his career, a grand slam. It's his 23rd grand slam. That ties him with Lou Gehrig. Most grand slams in the history of the game. Hit it off Johnny Venters.
We've had a lot of stadium questions, ballpark questions tonight. Troy in Orlando wants to know if we could televise a game just using camera 12. Fly ball out towards camera 12, and it's a foul ball into the corner off the bat of Gonzalez. We're working on that. We're working on that. James wants to know, are there any other ballparks that have the home team dugout on the third base side? And yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go down the list. San Francisco.
Dodger Stadium.
Dodger Stadium's on the third base side. It all depends. It's not a tradition home team takes one side or the other. It depends on the footprint and the design of the ballpark. And because of the footprint, the area where the Marlins had to work to build this ballpark, the most room was on the third base side, where they could put a larger locker room, larger clubhouse, bigger weight room, bigger training facilities, because the home team facilities are always bigger.
Wrigley Field, Cubs third base side, Arizona third base side. So just a few other examples. Yeah, we just came from Cleveland. Indians on the third base side.
That was Allison Williams. Did she tweet that, or did she just whisper in our producer's headset there? A-Dub helping out.
I think that was a twisper.
Yes, I couldn't tweet that fast. It was a twisper.
It's called a twisper.
See, Hut, you know, you may think that's funny, but if you patent that, in a couple of years, you can have an IPO, and you won't have to be sitting here. Shopik had a big hit in this ball game in the 7th with 2 outs, and Will Middlebrooks at first. He doubled off of Mark Burley in the left center field. Mike Aviles then dumped a single into center to score Shopik. And after a Darnell McDonald hit, were it not for a great catch by Chris Coughlin, which might be the play of the night on some of those highlight shows, Boston would have had 4 runs. As it is, 2 seems to be enough right now. Warren Henry fox tracks. He is, I mean, the count's 2-1, so do the math. There's 2 balls in the strike zone. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Ground ball. Hanley has it and makes the play. So Shopik out number 2, and here comes Aviles.
I think a little subtle thing, because you focus on the runs, the starting pitcher. Last couple of times out, Mujica 2 nice innings against the Rays. Last couple of nights, Steve Cishek has had a couple of good innings. So guys who have had their moments of inconsistency, it looks like they're putting it together. That's good.
The Marlins will have Morrison, Gabby Sanchez, and Chris Coughlin due up. There's Alfredo Aceves. He has been the closer for the Red Sox. Aviles pulls it foul. Ozzie still has it. Gold Glove winning shortstop. Bounces off of Joe Espada. Hanley knocks it down, bare hands, fires across, safe. That was a tough hop, and Hanley stayed with it.
Yeah, he's made some nice plays. That was a difficult one. We'll see how it's ruled. The ball was hit well by Aviles. And to get that hop, Hanley stayed in front of it, had to go back, but if he picks it cleanly, yes, he gets the out at first base. So that could be an error. And it is. But for Hanley, I think just his 3rd error of the season.
It is. Aviles back at first. So E5. Darnell McDonald is up. McDonald's is 1 for 3. Big Poppy is on deck. The 1-0. McDonald pulls it foul. That one inside the 3rd base line. Jerry Royster down there at 3rd base. Royster played 16 years in the big leagues and was a very good player. He had a lot of skills. He had some pop. He could steal bases.
Had a nice run with the Braves.
Nice run with the Padres. Brought on the staff by Bobby Valentine. It was Bobby Valentine who managed successfully in Japan. Helped Jerry Royster manage in Korea. Jerry Royster became the first American to manage a team in Korea.
Liner to center field. McDonald is going to bring Big Papi to the plate. Bobby Valentine is coming out to talk to the home plate umpire, DJ Rayburn.
Yeah, he's saying the scoreboard's wrong, and the reason is the scoreboard had the double switch with Sweeney hitting ninth and Padilla hitting third. And I don't think Valentine made the double switch.
Well, Big Papi has been announced.
So if Ortiz is pinch hitting, he's pinch hitting for the pitcher Padilla and not for Sweeney. And I thought you could hear Valentine say to the home plate umpire, the scoreboard's wrong.
Well, regardless, Ozzie doesn't want Mujica to face Big Papi. Here comes Randy Choate, a Jose Cuervo called to the bullpen. The Red Sox have runners at first and second. Randy Choate against David Ortiz now.
Big Papi at first base last night. We could see him at first base in the game tomorrow night.
Does the fact that he has been a designated hitter such a long time help him in a pinch hitting role?
You would think yes, but I would say no because they're different.
And Big Papi's not happy that pitch fell outside.
Well, DJ Rayburn has gotten a lot of hitters unhappy tonight, both sides. 2 for 6 against Randy Choate. Lefties against Choate this year, 4 for 43.
The Marlins have the matchup they want, trying to get to the bottom of the ninth, down a run. Boston trying to add on, snap a 4-game losing streak. The Red Sox have dropped 7 of 8. Mike Aviles reached on Hanley Ramirez's 3rd error of the season. Darnell McDonald then lined one into center, and that was it for Mujica. Steve Cishek, Mujica, and now Choate for the Fish. 1-2. Mark Burley and Clay Buchholz, the starters in this one, and both pitch very well.
And you see the numbers. Ortiz has always been solid against lefties and righties.
Choate ready. There's the breaking ball, and Ortiz just got a piece.
Yeah, he was on it pretty well, though.
Ortiz does not have the career numbers to get to the Hall of Fame, but you wonder, his is such a unique career in that he was traded as a minor leaguer from Seattle to Minnesota. He never could quite get it rolling with the Twins. They let him go as a free agent, and then when he got to Boston, he put it all together. Got him. Ortiz doesn't like that call either. To the bottom of the ninth we go in Miami. Sports Florida is brought to you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Checkers. Feast on. Roof wide open in Miami tonight. And a good ball game. A one-run game. It was 2-0 Red Sox. Logan Morrison, the Warren Henry drive of the game. Morrison knocked one out of the ballpark. The lead off the 7th. And that's it for the Fish. That was off of Clay Buchholz. Vicente Padilla pitched the 8th. Marlins stranded a couple runners in that inning. And now they get the very back end of the Boston pen. Alfredo Aceves, the 30-year-old Mexican who comes in. Last year he was terrific out of the bullpen, 10-2 with a 2.61 ERA, though he only had 2 saves. He was not the closer last year.
He's a guy, Rich, that Alfredo Amezaga can give us a great scouting report on out of Sonora, Mexico. 6 or 7 years in the Mexican League, and finally a little bit of time with the Yankees and finding a niche now with the Red Sox. Good fastball, curveball, and changeup. There's just 3 pitches.
There's all kinds of curious things about him in the research material. He wears number 91 in honor of, all people, Dennis Rodman. Yeah, it's what I read. He also likes to warm up left-handed. A big yoga enthusiast. Yeah, you're right. 6 years in the Mexican League. Morrison, Gabby Sanchez, Chris Conklin. Bottom 9. Fastball's in.
That was his downward dog pitch.
He has a major league high 3 4-out saves, and they have all come over his last 8 appearances.
Yeah, he's a guy certainly that Valentine isn't afraid to bring in the 8th inning if necessary.
Seves. Breaking ball catches the plate, and it's 1-1. Morrison's last 3 ball games. You see Bobby Valentine. A solo homer tonight. A big double last night in the Marlins' 3-run first. And he had 3 hits on Sunday, including 2 doubles. Bangs one up the middle, into center field. That's a base hit. Now, will the Marlins run for Morrison here?
Lomo now 6 out of his last 11 at-bats.
And Justin Ruggiano is trotting out. Morrison with a leadoff hit here in the ninth.
That's some good top spin. Stayed down for a moment. It looked like Aviles would come up with a fantastic play, but the ball stayed down, scooted under his glove on into center field. So Ruggiano will be the pinch runner.
And we've seen enough of Ruggiano to know that he runs well. So the tying runs at first. Morrison has been the Marlins' best offensive weapon of the night.
Here's the tough part. You know, a lot of people would say, well, you sacrifice him to second. You sacrifice him to second, you have 2 struggling hitters coming up in Chris Coghlan and John Buck.
Sanchez swings and misses. And it's 0-1. It's a great point. And remember, the Marlins have already used Greg Dobbs in the ballgame. Dobbs struck out back in the 8th. And as a hitter, hitters will tell you they hate it when that happens. You check your swing on a pitch that's in and it clips the bat. And instead of 1-1, it's 0-2.
Yeah, just like that, in the hole.
So it's 0-2. Not a big lead, as you can see, from Ruggiano. Gabby fights it off, and it stays 0-2. Ruggiano stumbling back in. Gabby has struck out twice, has flied out. He has a couple of RBI hits. It's being called back up in the 2 games. And he swings and misses at the breaking ball. So Seves strikes out Sanchez. Now here come the hitters that you talked about. Coghlan, whose average is close to 140, and Buck, whose average is just over 150.
Been a tough night for Giancarlo Stanton. 4 strikeouts. Gabby Sanchez, 3 strikeouts. Marlins as a team have struck out 12 times tonight.
Coghlan takes a breaking ball in. 0 for his last 15. 2 fly ball outs and a ground out. Clay Buchholz struck out 9. Padilla a pair. And it's 2-0. Justin Ruggiano, the pinch runners at first. He represents the tying run in the bottom of the ninth. Coughlin, another fly ball. This one to McDonald and left.
Boy, the struggles continue for Chris Coughlin and the bottom part of the order. And when you have a night where Giancarlo strikes out 4 times, you'd like to get help elsewhere.
Well, the Marlins have had help from the number 5 spot, but from 5 down, the 6, 7, 8 hitters, Gabby Sanchez, Coughlin, and John Buck, are 0 for 10. Now, Buck hit a ball 410 feet into the corner out in deep center field for an out his last time up. And Aceves steps off. Ruggiano hasn't budged from first. You got Shopik, who's a really good catch and throw guy, who threw out over 50% of base runners last year as a Ray. That one knocks Shopik's mask off.
And the guy who hit the foul tip can understand.
Outfield's very deep, but with the speed of Ruggiano and as quick as this outfield grass is, you would expect a ball in the gap. The Marlins probably going to try to score that run. Long wait, 0-1. Tied him up with a fastball that was in off the plate. Now it's 0-2, and the Marlins are down to their last strike. Boston fans on their feet. Transplanted New Englanders have been here the last couple of nights. Oh, 2. It's in. Shopik tried to squeeze it and frame it. One and 2 to John Buck. Aceves ready. Breaking ball, ground ball. Aviles straightens up, fires to first in time, and Boston wins it. And the Red Sox even this series. They snap a 4-game losing streak. Not a bad night for Logan Morrison, but a tough one for the Marlins, who had opportunities early and didn't get those runs when they had a chance, and it comes back to bite them in a 2-1 final. Alfredo Aceves didn't have to go 4 outs to get this save.
So many times we talk about those early opportunities, how in a close game, if it stays that way, they hurt later on, and they hurt tonight.
Yeah. Jose Reyes led off this ball game with a triple, and the Marlins didn't score him. Clay Buchholz then struck out the side, and Boston was off and rolling, and so was Buchholz. As he's the winner in this one, Aceves gets the save. Marlins Live, presented by Checkers, is coming up.